Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Scientist Podcast. My co-host, of course, Dr. Mituja Sharma, and we are joined with Dr. Smita Joshi. And this is episode 9. So those who have watched, and 70% of our viewers are not subscribers. So please like, share, and subscribe, and also suggest people who we can talk to. Of course, this is our platform, and it is a very positive outlook of the science. So, first of all, thank you, Smita, for joining us. And I know this is Sunday morning, but still, we always like to talk about science. So, please tell me about yourself.
My name is SMITA Joshi. I uh, did my bachelor's in Ayurvedic medicine in India back in 2004. And after that, I came to US and then I got into master's in biology and did my PhD in biochemistry. And now I'm tenure track faculty at a small teaching university in US.
Mm. Yeah, that's nice. So, and where are you India? Where are you from India? And like which part of India did you grow up?
I am from Ahmednagar district, which is very famous for Shirdi Ke Sai Baba.
Oh,
Like
nice.
I live maybe an hour away from Shirdi.
Yeah.
That's how I introduce myself. Not very many people know any other things around there. There are a couple of other religious temples, famous religious temples there, very old. And that's where I am from. And the area is pretty rural. We have lots of agricultural land over there. That area is very famous for sugarcane. We have lots of sugar factories around, and pretty green area. Very nice, very beautiful. You
Is
should
that
visit.
the reason why you wanted to like study Ayurvedic science at the first place, or like was it a different reason?
Yes, so um, when I was in school, at the time, generally mostly people will go either to medicine or engineering. I was
Mhm.
not interested in engineering, and for medicine. There is always like allopathic medicine, then maybe dentistry or something, and then Ayurvedic medicine. I'm glad I went to Ayurvedic medicine. I went to Pune, Tiak Ayurved College, which was very famous for Ayurvedic medicine.
Mhm.
Many of like old Vaidyas, they are from there. There is kind of heritage of Ayurveda in that college. And I
Mhm.
learned a lot during my undergrad about Ayurvedic medicine. And what I found is we do have very good remedies and they are effective, they are powerful. People have been using them for centuries.
Mhm.
But unfortunately, this knowledge hasn't translated in modern language of science somehow,
Mhm. Mhm.
because we always looked at how does the patient feel.
Mhm.
Patient feels good, and that was good enough for us. We didn't go into nitty gritty details of which molecule is working and how mechanism is happening, and that's
Mhm.
how now we translate science. So I think there is a huge potential for Ayurveda
Mhm.
in way.
Is there like a particular instance or like a particular time where you felt like, oh my God, Ayurveda is so like, I mean, why no one introduced this to me, or like why is no one talking about it? Like, is there a particular instance that you may have, realized when while you were, studying
No,
Ayurveda?
it's not like particular instance, but I will give you some kind of examples when I started appreciating Ayurveda more after learning modern physiology.
Mm-hmm.
Is that whenever you look at some mechanism, some molecule is interacting with some other molecule and signaling cascade is happening.
Mm-hmm.
But um, when in old age when they were giving medicine, they were not thinking about these signaling molecules. They were using adjuvants. Like for example, they use Google for, I don't know English name for that, but Google to for any other medicine to have better effect. And now we are giving it a name, that adjuvant therapy. Like to stimulate your immune system to respond some way or another. So, and there are multiple other examples for these kind of things, that the combinations that they have made. For example, let's say curcumin,
Mm-hmm.
the active molecule, right, in healthy, and we always put them with pepper,
Mm-hmm.
marich ke saath. The
Mm-hmm.
reason is because the pepperin helps the bioavailability of curcumin much better. right? So
Mm-hmm.
there are certain combinations for that. So and even when I was learning, it was not like evident. People would not tell, oh, this is why we are combining them. And they were expecting students to come on their own for this conclusion. And sometimes it will take time. Sometimes it will take decades to get to that knowledge, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so that is the way the Ayurveda was taught and thought, and I think we need to change a little bit of thinking that, okay, so in Ayurveda they have given this combination,
Yeah.
why this combination works.
So, do you feel that there is also a need, like for maybe people who do Ayurveda, right? And to maybe embrace certain modern techniques to also figure out that okay, what is happening, or do you think that that is not going to happen
Yeah.
anytime?
No, I think if we want to spread the use of Ayurveda, we really need to adapt to new technologies and
Hmm.
new way of thinking.
Hmm.
Because then people will be more accepting to the evidence.
Yeah.
I think
Hmm.
just saying that we treated 10 patients and 8 of them they showed very good effect is not as powerful as saying we
Hmm.
showed 10 patients the concentration of this particular bioactive compound was active at duration of this time, and therefore we think that this is working, something like that, you know. So
Hmm.
we need to find some middle way
Hmm.
um, to come upon to increase the impact of Ayurveda, I think.
Interesting. Avilash, you are on mute.
I think last year that was very insightful, and last year
Yeah.
there was a debate going on that about the Ayurvedic medicine, and people were confused about Ayurvedic, homeopathic, allopathic, and it was like, okay, if it's not Western medicine, it's bad, uh, because there's no enough research happened on that. So do you
Hmm.
think that the medicine is good and not having enough research is also correct? So both of things can be correct, because just because research hasn't been done, that of course now it means that okay, this medicine might not be viable, enough trial hasn't been done.
Hmm.
However, so there needs to be more trial scientific rigor into this, or just okay, now the allopathy and Western medicine is all over, so let's just focus only on that, because there was a hate almost going on
Hmm.
like Ayurvedic medicine.
Yes, I think the reason people think that you are just like selling snake oil, that is those are the words that I have heard, you know,
Yeah.
like you are
Yes.
selling snake oil, you are just like saying that.
Yeah.
But you
I
have to remember
Yeah.
aspirin comes from willow bark.
Hmm.
We have, if we just watch dogs and cats and wild animals in the wild jungle, if they are not feeling good, what do they eat? If monkeys get sick, what do? They eat some leaves, maybe they just throw up and they feel better, you know. And what other thing, like what would we do in natural conditions? We will
Yeah.
find something from herbs. And even now today, if you
Yeah.
look at modern therapies, they are always looking for some compounds. There are like widespread big on big scale, they are looking at compounds and seeing which one is going to be effective. And
Yeah.
these compounds, most of them, they do have some natural origin to that.
Yeah.
So, an aspirin is the poster child, I would say, that has given us. And we used to use willow bark for centuries, you know,
Yeah.
didn't know how it works. But only because you don't know how it works doesn't mean that it doesn't work. It just means that either you don't have techniques, or
Hmm.
maybe you don't, your thinking hasn't reached to that level to
Yeah.
understand the mechanism,
Yeah.
or maybe some systems are working together. So if you're studying only one system, you will not get the full answer,
Yeah.
you know. So only because we
Right.
don't know doesn't mean that it is not happening. And I
Yeah.
think uh, especially with Ayurveda we are falling short to
Hmm.
look at those therapies. With herbal extracts, you are going to have multiple different compounds in those extracts.
Hmm.
One challenge is going to be in what combination, in what stoichiometric ratios those compounds are in those extracts, you know. So the research is not going to be easy. It is challenging, but it is possible.
It is possible. Yeah. I think it's really fascinating to see and to be honest, like I always believe in evidence, right? I always believe that, there, if it is happening, if it is working, then I'm sure there is something behind it. But I also don't believe when people just, say this, that, hey, you're only selling snake oil, right? No, that's not how it works. I mean, there are people, and see, what has happened is that our civilization, right, it has always moved in different directions, right? 300, 400, maybe 1,000 years ago, our civilization, the human civilization, where we were looking at stars, and everything was based on stars. So you will see a lot of science being done in that area. And then now what is happening is that everything is very, if you'll see that this material and that material, and everything is in that direction, right? And that's why everyone is like, hey, where's the evidence in terms of material? But it's very, very interesting to see your point of view as well. But I have a question, right? So obviously, you did study Ayurvedic medicine, etc., in your undergrad. It's very interesting to see that you have already made a lot of transitions, right? So I think from Ayurvedic medicine to, then I'm assuming, while doing your master's and PhD, you are more involved in, not modern, yeah, I can say, modern techniques, right? How was that transition for you? Like, how did you manage that, right? And was it
I
surprising? Was it good? Was it bad? What was happening?
And
it
also,
was challenging. I
like
think
being a
if I were to
Marathi,
use them,
was it difficult being
it
a
was.
yeah.
It was very difficult. Um, so when I was doing BMS, my Ayurvedic medicine, my degree, main languages I used was
Oh,
Marathi, Hindi, Sanskrit. Those were the only one. My contact with English was as minimum as you can imagine. I could read, I could understand, I could not talk, I could not hear.
oh.
And I came to US only because of my husband. My husband was doing his PhD at University of Virginia,
Hmm.
and I came here. And my first challenge was this immense isolation. First
Hmm.
of all, like you leave your family behind, you leave all your familiar environment
You
behind,
leave your language behind.
language behind, culture behind, everything is new here,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then you find some Indian friends, Indian community, but it is
Hmm.
not the same because PhD student doesn't have general life, like they are always busy. And then I had this huge language barrier,
Hmm.
so it was not easy. And then I used to envy him because he used to have homework. I still remember. He used to have homework, and I didn't have any homework. Like I just felt completely aimless at the time because I was working in India. I was houseman
Yeah,
in a hospital
yeah.
before coming here, so it was pretty emptiness. So I decided to go for education, um, and that's when challenges began because I could not talk well, could not communicate well. And so
Hmm.
people thought that I don't know, I would just like calm down, I guess. After some trying some. So at UVA I started doing volunteering in a health system to increase my communication skills.
Hmm.
And then he got another job, so I joined community college because one of the faculty in Virginia Commonwealth University,
Hmm.
she told me that based on my Ayurvedic education, they are not going to give me any science credits
Hmm.
because in Ayurveda, we had all these related subjects which are going to go for Ayurvedic education. So
Hmm.
I basically got zero credit for my bachelor's.
Oh. Hmm.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that was my first roadblock. That
Hmm.
zero credit for bachelor's. So all my dreams to go into master's were completely crashed because I couldn't. So they said, get prerequisites done, then we will get some credit and whatnot. So I said, first I thought of
Hmm.
going to nursing degree for nursing degree, and then I did my associate degree program, which is like basically I did like half bachelor's degree in
Hmm.
community college.
Hmm.
And meanwhile, my husband got job at Morehead State, and I applied there. I got masters in
Hmm.
biology admission. That there I did masters, and that helped me to have some credential from US University to apply for PhD.
Nice.
And yeah, so my journey was very not circular at all, like not like straightforward, not like after this step do this step. After bachelor's I had to go get the associate degree and then masters and
Hmm.
then PhD.
And how was your experience in your master's and PhD?
um, in masters, it was very good.
Hmm.
That is the first time I felt challenged after working for so long,
Hmm.
because my courses in community college, they were not that challenging for me. So
Hmm.
for masters, the first time I got like challenging, like mental work, and I really enjoyed that. I got good friends, and I had a child. When I started my masters, my daughter was 7 months old,
Hmm. Hmm.
and I defended when my son was 4 months old, my master's thesis. And then when he was 9 months old, I started my PhD.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
So your,
Kudos to you.
so your
What a
master's,
great example.
yeah,
Yeah.
but your master's was really productive in one more than one way.
Yeah. Yep. I had two kids under two at some time. My in-laws came to help. I'm really appreciative of that.
That's
Yeah.
And I had family support, I
Yeah.
would say.
Yeah.
And then PhD was a learning experience.
Hmm.
Uh, it was challenging at the time, and you have multiple different skills that you have to master.
Hmm.
Doing PhD, communication was one of them, critical thinking, problem solving. So you learn how to do experiments, how to think about them, how to interpret results. And my projects were very animal centered,
Hmm.
so breeding them and weaning them and doing surgeries on them. So it took long time to complete PhD, but I enjoyed
Oh,
the work.
oh, wow. Like, so you went like a completely 180 degree, right, in your academic journey, right? You started with Ayurveda, where I don't think any like animal studies are required.
No.
And then from there to just, all the animals, because I know like, animal work can take a lot of toll and it requires a lot of work as well, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
it does. It does.
you,
And
you
and I think sometimes frustrating part was like when you want to breed them, they wouldn't breed, or genotyping will not work. So there were so many things not under your control.
I
Uh,
think I think
right.
one really interesting thing that I have got to know about, this animal work is how do you actually mark them? I think you do something with the toe, right? You either
No, we do with ears. Like punch the ear up
you
and
punch
down.
you punch the ear, right?
Punch
And
the
it's
ear.
very, very interesting, right? Like that you have to be so systematic with the animals, right?
Mhm.
And obviously, because they're sacrificing and and all of that, right? So it's fascinating. So what is it that you did in your PhD?
I work on how platelets secrete their cargo. So
Mm-hmm.
there is in 2013 there was Nobel Prize given for the discovery of snare proteins
Mm-hmm.
to three scientists, and our lab, my PI, Dr. Whiteheart, is the author on one of those papers that Nobel Committee cited for that award.
Nice.
He worked with Dr. Rothman, who got the award.
Mm.
And what we do, we are learning that group of protein in platelets. And what I specifically did, I looked at four different isoforms of vesicle associated membrane proteins, and like, generated different mice that lack one, two, or three of those isoforms, and characterized those mice to see the rate and the degree to which these platelet granules fuse to the plasma membrane.
and why that is important?
Yeah.
Yes, very good question. So, why this is important?
For general
So,
audience.
Even I'm
yes,
asking this question
For
to
general,
yes.
myself.
You know,
I
every
understand.
one out of three or out of four at most people die due to cardiovascular disease, and some
Mm,
of the cardiovascular diseases include heart attacks and strokes, right? Like you you have some kind of event happening that impedes the flow of blood to the organs that it's going to. So platelets, they are conventionally called band-aids, but they do much, even much more than that.
mm,
But what they do is when you have some kind of vascular injury, platelets come there, they
mm.
change their shape, they release the cargo from these small sacs or granules that they have, and these granules have these small molecules which are basically signals for other platelets to come to the site of injury,
Oh,
and they
nice.
make, yeah, they make clot over there, and that's how
Wow.
you stop the blood.
Yeah.
Now if you are not controlling this process, and this is very build process
Mm,
along with coagulation, but I'm not going to talk about coagulation.
mm,
So when you build the clot, if the growth of the clot is uncontrolled,
Hmm.
then you are not going to be able to get the blood downstream to
Hmm.
the next organ. That's how you are going to have heart attacks, ischemic heart attacks. And but if you are not able to clot the blood, then there will be a lot of bleeding.
Hmm.
So too much bleeding or too much clotting, both of them, they are going to be equally catastrophic for you. So what we do is we are trying to find the balance, like how
Hmm.
much of platelet function is we
Good.
can
Yeah.
good enough to
Yeah.
stop the bleeding but not cause occlusive thrombosis.
And is it like because I'll tell you, I'll be very naive here, right? So whenever I have heard of platelets, I have like so in India, right, during the monsoon season, right, you have
Dengue.
this dengue and everything. So you hear, and you are not even hearing platelets. People are fondly calling it plates, right? Uh, Plates
You know
decrease,
that.
plate, right? Now that is the only time that I have heard about plates, right, or platelets, right? So I would like to, like, maybe if you can help me understand a little, like, how is, like, what is happening there, and how is it different, like, because what is happening in this cardiovascular, like when people are getting all these heart attacks and all, right? Like, what is the difference, like, what is happening there?
So that is very good question. When I said that platelets can do even much more,
Hmm.
platelets traditionally we only thought from the hemostatic process that they form the clot and whatnot. But what
Hmm.
you are suggesting is their role in immune system. So
Hmm.
dengue virus can infect platelets, and platelet number goes down in during dengue infection.
Hmm.
And if you look at the hematopoietic lineage of platelets, more and more evidence is coming towards platelets being an immune cell.
Hmm.
They are second most abundant in body,
Hmm.
and they are the one, they don't have nucleus. Interestingly, they do not have nucleus.
Wow.
All the RNA and protein that they have inherited it from their mother cell, megakaryocytes.
Yeah.
But they can sense their atmosphere, environment, and they can change their RNA based on that.
Oh.
And because of that, they can work as immune cells. And now recently some groups have started, not recently, it's been a while, they have started looking at to use platelets as a delivery
Hmm.
vehicle.
Hmm.
So you
Oh,
can
wow.
basically pack them with something and then send them, and their lifespan is like 5 to 10 days.
Yeah.
So you are not going to have this for like forever, but you
Yeah.
can give a dose that, and you can give the target, and maybe they can deliver it there.
Oh, and because of their sensing capability, they can sense, they can go, they can deliver, they can come back.
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
wow. Like like what our special forces do. Like, they are the special forces of immune system, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
they
yeah.
go
They are.
in, they deliver, they come back to to the country, right?
Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful.
These granules that I keep talking about, some of these granules contain cytokines, chemokines,
Mm-hmm.
growth factors. So
Mm-hmm.
basically, the way I see platelets, they are important for disease pathology. Also, they are important for healing. You know,
Mm-hmm.
for wound healing, we have some other project going on. So they can do multiple different things. It's just not only hemostasis.
And I
And
think this is the reason, sorry, Ablash, this is the reason that this is the reason why it is important to preserve platelets as well, right? And I was
Yes.
reading one of your papers, and I think you guys have done some work on calcium ion chelation preserves platelet function during cold storage. Just like a very briefly, what is it? What did you guys do? How is it? Yeah.
Calcium, yes. I will just take like couple minutes for this.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, calcium chelation is very important. Platelets, the inherent capability of platelets lies in their ability to increase the signal, to recruit more platelets at the site of injury and form the clot.
Hmm.
When you chelate the calcium, you are basically dampening the activation signal
Hmm.
from them, because calcium is very important for secretion,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
also stimulating coagulation cascade.
Hmm.
Platelets, when they get activated, they express phosphodiesterone on their surface, and that helps this coagulation cascade, come assemble those proteins and then start that parallel pathway. So when you chelate the calcium, you are basically dampening that response, and that's how you can store them very well.
Oh, interesting. Interesting.
And
So,
and another thing I can add on that, that the way I was telling about the platelet as a vehicle system, some people groups are just creating the platelets with some kind of adhesive receptors on them, like sticky things
hmm,
that will go and stick where injury has happened. So you can basically just use platelet membrane to
hmm.
stop the bleeding.
Wow. Oh, this is so cool. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's a lot of research going on.
yeah, that's very interesting. And also, like anyone who watches this, they will look at your profile, and it, she has almost more than 1,000 citations, and there are journals people dream to publish in. Just like Nature Science, there's a journal called Blood. Blood is like the biggest journal of any cardiovascular system, like
Hmm,
the biggest. There's no above that. So she has
hmm.
multiple publication in that. So from coming from that different science background to come here is absolutely commendable. Now you are a teacher. So and you have
Another transition.
yeah, and you have been a student in India, in
Hmm,
Maharashtra, and in Ayurveda, and now you are teaching here physiology and other different subjects in US.
hmm.
So so what are the things that you find different comparing between those two? And do you have any philosophy how teachers should be?
Yeah. I think as a student in India, culture was completely different. You would not ask questions. You would not dream to ask questions to your teachers. I remember trying to ask, and our teachers were like, "Did you do your homework? Did you read your textbook? Did you, like, tell me on which page on the textbook this information was?" Like, so they will probe you to see your efforts. I think to motivate you in that sense. Here is a little bit different. Here, you have to know who your audience is, who your student body is. And I love teaching. I have to say that I love teaching here.
Hmm.
um, I work here in at least 4 or 5 different universities, um, more in some than other. um, and what I found is, my student body comes from financially little bit needy area of
Hmm.
Eastern Kentucky, and most of my students are first in their family, first in their generation to go to
Wow.
college.
Hmm,
Yes. And they are eligible for Pell Grants. If you have heard about it, Pell Grants is for economically backwards people and who
hmm,
need some financial help.
hmm,
So they don't have family support as much as other
hmm,
people, maybe other average person might have. They are the first ones, so people are not cognizant of the challenges of that first generation.
hmm,
And since I started teaching here, I have become, I think, more compassionate about their struggles.
hmm,
With my students go through, and uh, you need to know who you are teaching and what their dreams are, what they want to be, how they are going to go there,
hmm.
and what are the challenges between them and what they want to aspire, they want to dream, like there are going to be challenges. And since they are not getting very much support from any other source, I think you have to do your best to be there for them.
Yeah. And I think as a teacher myself, I also feel the same, right? Like, I think it's important to have that compassion, right? It doesn't matter,
Mhm.
like, obviously, the background matters, where they are coming from and what is happening with them, right? Because it gives you context as to, what are their aspirations, what do they want to do. But I completely agree with you that compassion is the most important thing in teaching. And without that, I think you can be an expert in your field, but if you don't have compassion, if you don't have that trust between you and the student, nothing will work. It will
Yeah,
lose.
yeah,
Yeah.
So do you
yeah,
think that the challenges that students from lower strata feel? So I think the challenges are almost same anywhere in the world if they are from the lower strata.
Hmm.
The problem with the finances and proper care at home, that okay, your study is important. They
Hmm.
some of them might be doing some work also to just earn money,
Yeah.
just to live well.
yes, that's true.
So you might have seen almost same challenges when you are doing your BMS, where some of the students used to do tuition or something just to take care of their family and and just to maintain that. So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yes, I agree. I agree with you that if there is financial need, challenges are similar. Uh, but when I was in India, I think at that age I was not that that compassionate, I guess, or I was not that cognizant about other people's struggles.
Hmm.
People who were around me, they were same as me, as middle class.
Hmm.
We did get some concession becoming, because I was a girl, my father was a teacher, so we did get some concession in my during my undergrad. And all of us, none of us, we were any rich or privileged, I would say, but our struggles were not the same. At least our families knew the importance of education,
Hmm.
and that is where the struggle of some people lies. And I wouldn't say that is the difference between India and here, because I know even in India some people may not understand the importance of education. They might want their kids to work, get some money, because money is material that you can see. Education is such an abstract idea.
Hmm.
If you are going to get something after 5 years, you will not understand the importance of that at this moment when you are hungry. You
Yeah.
know, so
Yeah,
getting
that's
food
so.
on table right now is much more important than after 5 years what is going to happen. So I think I grew a lot when I was in undergrad. I think I didn't have that much thinking going on.
That's a incredible insight. And it has been half an hour. So thank you so much for your time. Mrityunjay, any last thoughts?
I think so first of all, I really appreciate, and I think people like yourself, they do, they are an example to a lot of people who say that, hey, we have so many challenges. I think you have faced as many challenges as anyone can face, but hey, here you are still, hacking it out, making sure that you're there, you're working hard, etc. So yeah, so I really appreciate all the hard work, right, that you have done. And yeah, and thank you for talking to us. I think thank you for giving your valuable time to us. And I think Abhilash has a question in the end. So I think
Always.
he's going to definitely ask that question.
Always.
Go ahead. Yeah.
So this is the tradition of our podcast, and we ask for every guest, so not only you.
Mm.
So you have to say something in couple of lines in your native language, so in Marathi, uh, to people about like you can overcome challenges, and you can be a mother, a brilliant scientist, and also a brilliant teacher at the same time. And anyone who will watch in Shirdi and Ahmednagar in Maharashtra any day. And
Yes.
people are watching our videos. Some of them goes to 400-500 views. So to just to motivate them in science and how to achieve all these things in Marathi, if you can say
Yes.
that.
Oh, so the sentence that you say, or I can just say something.
Yeah, you can
Uh,
say anything you want, but in Marathi.
okay, just give me a minute.
And you can translate if anyone for people.
um,
Sorry.
let me just think about the thing. Um,
Hmm. Yeah.
um, should I start in Marathi?
Yeah, sure.
आयुष्यात तुम्हाला जे काही साध्य करायचं आहे, ते तुम्ही करू शकता. फक्त मनामध्ये जिद्द पाहिजे, चिकाटी पाहिजे. हाच माझा तुम्हाला सगळ्यांना संदेश आहे.
Okay, that's cool. And what does that mean?
Uh, what I say is that if you want to achieve something in life, just have hard work and perseverance.
Oh, perseverance. Okay. Yeah. Oh, that's really cool. That's really cool. I hope I do that sometimes. Uh, okay. Okay.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you.
I
Thank you
enjoyed a
so
lot
much.
for chatting with both of you,
Yeah,
and
it
nice
was.
to see you, Mrutyunjay.
Yeah, it
I
was.
always, uh, I always talk to Abhilash, so
There you
Sorry,
go.
my bad. Okay. So
okay,
those,
bye.
yeah. So those who have watched, thank you. Like, subscribe. We'll share all of Smita's information on our YouTube and also on LinkedIn. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.